Hello, I'm Stephanie from Bookmans Northwest,
And I'm Kay from Bookmans Midtown.
and I do community outreach and marketing. And we're here today for our zine making workshop with Saka.
Yay!
So thanks for letting us be here today, and we're going to show you how to make some zines. A little bit about Bookmans.
So we are a buy, sell, trade style company. We're primarily a used entertainment exchange, hence Bookmans Entertainment Exchange. We sell pretty much any type of physical media from books, movies, music, vinyl, video games, magazines, and we buy everything from the community. So you bring us your products, we'll give you a trade or cash offer, and then we sell those back to the community.
Yeah, and we also do a lot of different community outreach, working with different literacy organizations in the community. We also have our kids club. So if you sign up 0 to 13 years old, you can get a $10 gift certificate on your birthday, or you can, you can get 10% off every time you're in our store. And then we also have our 13-17 club where you get 15% off every time you shop, and $15 on your birthday. We also like to support our teachers in the community with a program that we have called Project Educate, and that is 20% off for all educators.
And you can find all the information for those clubs online at bookmans.com, as well as sign up for appointments for in-store trade services and curbside services right now.
And we have 3 different locations in Tucson, one at Ina and Thornydale, one at Speedway and Country Club, and another one at Speedway and Wilmot. So yeah, we're really excited to continue our partnership with Saka, and we're going to show you how to make some zines today. Feel free to ask questions throughout, and we'll do a Q&A at the end as well. And let's go over what you need to make a zine. Stuff that I like to have around is a ruler, scissors, definitely some glue, and we're going to do our paper as well, and show you a couple different types of binding techniques today as well. Also good things to have are different types of physical media, like we were talking about, some comic books.
Magazines.
And also Kay did some Blackout Poetry too.
Yeah, you might want to grab some books and take out some pages, and we'll show you how to do Blackout Poetry.
And any type of like drawing materials, colored pencils, stuff like that. Those are the fun little extras you can have around. And some extra materials too, like string for different types of binding techniques, and tape that we'll show you later on in the video. Yeah, so I'm going to show you the first binding technique. It is called a saddle stitch. And what I like to do is, I already got this one prepped here and ready to go, but I'm just going to reinforce the seam and show you how to do it. So you want to start on the inside of your page. What I did first was I marked the dots where I wanted the holes on the front and back, and then I cut the holes with an X-Acto knife for each one. So you want to start on the inside hole in the center, and what I like to do is leave a little bit of string on the end and then just put a little piece of tape here. I don't worry about getting like the tape on here because you're going to be pasting stuff over this anyway, so it doesn't matter if the paper gets a little bit messed up. So you're going to thread your string. I'm using embroidery string here. It's a nice thick string, so it's good for binding, and I used a pretty thick needle, and that makes it a lot easier because I'm using cardstock for this style of zine. So what I do is I'm going to stick the needle through the center hole and pull it all the way through. And then you want to go to the outside on one side, to the outside on the other side, and then back to the center. And I really like this needle as well because it's kind of curved. So it makes my job a lot easier. You can use just like a regular needle as well. That'll work just fine too. And sometimes waxed thread is good too because it's reinforced with the wax. So that is also good for binding. And make sure you don't poke yourself as well. That is important. So back through the center here. And up to the top. What I did was I went about 1 inch in on either side, and then I estimated about what the middle was when I was making my marks for the holes. And it's also nice to have the binder clips on the side so you can keep your space open so you can see what you're doing. So now I'm headed back to the middle here. And I'm on the inside again. So back to the outside. What you're going to want to do here is go through and around. So you're doing like a small knot, and then back into the center. And then you're going to go back into the inside and pull that knot through. And it's going to come out on the other side. And then what I like to do is tie a triple knot just to make sure that it is reinforced. So the trick is to hold it down. 1, 2, and 3. And then you can cut it off here. And that is your saddle stitch binding technique. Pretty easy. And Kay has another technique to teach you about folding.
Yeah, so this technique is going to be if you don't have needle and thread available or tape or staples to bind everything together. So we're going to actually fold the paper in on itself to create a little book. So how you're going to start is with your paper, and you can do this with any size paper, is you're first going to fold it hamburger style. And I'm a perfectionist, so I'm going to make these lines as straight as possible. I'm also going to use scissors to really flatten down my creases. Then I'm going to reopen it. Next thing I'm going to do is fold it the opposite direction. I call this hot dog style. Stephanie calls it bratwurst style. Go ahead and vote in the comments who's correct. And again, I'm going to fold down that seam, and I'm really going to flatten it with my scissors again. Now I'm going to reopen it, and you're going to see you have a 4-quadrant folded page. Next thing I'm going to do is, starting on one side, I'm going to fold, I guess this would kind of be like mini hamburger style?
Yeah, slider.
Oh, slider style, that's perfect. I'm going to fold one side into my middle seam. And once again, flatten down my edges. And then I'm going to repeat that step with the other side.
And I like using the cardstock too because it takes to the glue a little bit better.
I
So
like
a
the
thicker
thickness.
paper. Drawing paper is also good too because it's easier to fold, but it still has that kind of good stock to it.
Yeah. All right. So then you're gonna open it back up. And now you're gonna see that you have 4 smaller quadrants on the top and 4 on the bottom. So typically right now I'd probably use scissors, but I'm gonna use Stephanie's X-Acto knife. I'm gonna fold it over just so I have a better lines. And what we're gonna do is you're gonna cut the center line from one side to the other. And you're only gonna do this middle section right here. Can I use the ruler, please?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Now be careful when you're doing this. X-Acto knives are sharp. Okay, so then you're gonna have a hole in the center. So what I do now is I'm going to fold it bratwurst style. We're gonna go with bratwurst style. And I'm going to kind of push the pages in so that they separate in the center. So when you're holding it, it'll look something like that. And then what we're going to do is you're going to fold all the pages on top of each other. And there's your booklet.
Nice.
Yeah.
And super easy. All you need is a piece of paper and something to cut it with. Thank you, Kay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so then you can kind of get started with making your zine. So we brought a few samples today. This is one that we made at a previous zine making workshop at the Bookmans Midtown store. It's called Wild Thoughts. And I like my zines to be kind of just random. I think cutting and pasting stuff and just like looking through magazines and things like that is just like kind of a fun way to relax and hang out and kind of do a fun art project and get inspired. So mine doesn't really have a theme. I see a lot of frogs and things like that, but I tend to do kind of like dreamscapey, surrealist kind of stuff. But your book can have a theme. Your zine can have a theme as well. It
can have a theme. I've done zines where I just highlight the majestic fashion that is overalls with just a million pictures of overalls.
I remember that one. That was a lot of fun. And then also what I like to do with like the comics sometimes is cut out this and you can kind of tell your own story within the different, pages and stuff. So I got one started today that we can do. Kind of went with a storybook theme, once upon a time. Still like, the kind of dreamscapey fairy tale ideas going on here.
Oh, I like that fox picture.
So me too, the big fox head.
I love that.
Yeah, that was Airbnb magazine. And so we're going to continue to show you how to cut and paste for your zine. We prepared a bunch of stuff today to get started with our zine. Another technique or fun thing to do as part of your zine is some blackout poetry.
Yeah.
Kay also has some of that to share with us today.
So basically, blackout poetry is really easy. Shout out to V.E. Schwab for giving us the idea. Basically, we're going to take any book, and we're going to use some donated books that we had at the store. I've already done some. So basically what we do is you take a permanent marker, and as you're reading, you just start crossing out lines in the book until you kind of create your own style of poetry. So one that I did out of Dark Moon Mysteries is, look to the moon and you will find your inner darkness, your dark self. Fully engage in the moon, the demon hid it away. Darkness is a force beyond human nature. Or you can do some smaller ones. Shout out to our music manager, Ben, at Midtown. He did some really short ones for me. This one is mental level confused, send help. And this one is emotional level afraid. Ben's quite the poet.
I'm going to check on him after this one, too.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, so time to cut and paste. I prepared some stuff that I already have cut up here.
And I'm going to be starting from scratch.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's nice to have like a surface next to you so you can not get your zine all messy. So you have like the place where you can glue here. What I like to do is I like to plan out my zine and like put the stuff in there and figure out where everything is going to go, and then I paste.
Meanwhile, I'm a little bit more fly at the seat of my pants type. I like to basically start all of my zines by covering all of my pages with a big background. So what I did before is I pre-cut some bigger pages out of a couple of magazines of photography that I really liked. I'm kind of going with the juxtaposition of food mixed with Batgirl because she's amazing. That's my theme.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I mean, two great things, food and
Two great
Batgirl.
things.
So there you go.
So I think I'm going to start with these grapes from Sonoida as my cover page.
Yeah, I got some good stuff from that edible Baja.
I got some amazing stuff.
Let's see. So I think that is a good plan for what I'm going to do to finish off this page. So I'm just going to start gluing. I like to use the just these glue sticks. If you want to get real professional about it, rubber cement, Mod Podge, because then you can reinforce and like paint over your pages so they get that like kind of slick finish to them. But this is just really quick and easy, like cut and paste stuff.
I'm a big fan of the way the glue sticks kind of dry on this paper. I'm not really sure why.
On the
on like the cardstock.
Oh. Yeah, and
it gives it like an interesting texture.
Oh, cool. Yeah, and then sometimes I like to like glue on both the actual surface itself and on the back of the piece that I'm doing, because you get that extra reinforcement.
All right. So I've glued down on my entire cover on one side. So I have some extra, and I'm just going to cut that because I don't think I want this on my back.
Yeah, I did something similar. I did just one full page on my back cover.
Yeah,
I haven't decided on my front cover yet, though. We'll see. Do this next piece. This glue stick is running low, so I'm going to switch to my backup glue stick.
All right, so there's the background for my cover. Great.
Oh, very nice.
I also thought like purple, Batgirl's purple, or her Burnside costume is purple.
And I really like that size too.
I do
the
too.
Paper that we use.
The one thing I found an issue with when we did the bigger paper was just having almost too much space sometimes.
Yeah, depending on how long you want your project to be, and it's always something that you can stop and then go back to later and continue. So I'm almost finished with this page that I started before. Just a couple more additions.
What's fun about zine making is you can kind of cut things out as you go, or you can plan and cut things out as like you're enjoying them. So if you found like a magazine that has some really good poetry, you can kind of cut that all out and put it aside for a future project.
Yeah, and it kind of just like builds on itself as you go, which is cool.
Let's see, I think I want to do another Batgirl on the
You'll
front.
do that. And yeah, having this surface is definitely helpful so you don't get all
You don't accidentally glue
messy.
something you don't mean to glue.
Exactly. put that right there.
I think I might go with a pretty simple cover today, unless I see something that catches my eye. But I'm thinking that this is going to be the beginning of my cover.
I like that. I like how you did the Batgirl.
Just going to do something
vertically.
really simple. And now we're on to the inside.
And now I finished this other page.
Where did you find that little
quote
poem?
right there. It was also in the Airbnb magazine.
Oh.
I didn't even know they had a magazine, but it says, "At night, fireflies light up the sky, and at dawn, a symphony of birds and insects animates the air, which is always thick with the smell of lime and guava."
I love that.
Me too. I'm like, I can just like, takes me there right now. So I like how this is like a mix of text too, like a little bit of text here. And then I found like the Once Upon a Time part. So it's fun to find like fun quotes and stuff like that, or like your own personal poetry. Can be anything you want, really. And I have a few more pages here. This is another technique that I did. I stapled this one. So I just kind of folded the pages inwards. And like I said, since you're going to be gluing on top of them, it doesn't really matter if they like bend a little bit. So I folded them over and then put the stapler and stapled them on the outside. So there's lots of different binding techniques that you can do, folding techniques and different types of stitches. Looking them up online, there's a lot of other types of binding stitches. I think the saddle stitch is kind of the easiest approach.
Or if you're like me and you can't sew anything, folding is nice.
Folding is also nice. Yeah, so let's do another page. So I cut some stuff out here as well. So I'm going to plan out my next page. Let's see. Maybe like that. And this one I think I'm going to leave out some of the blue parts because blue is like a really fun color.
I like that blue.
Yeah, I just found some cardstock. You can use, like I said, any type of kind of paper that you want, whatever speaks to you. You can make like tiny little zines with that folding technique. They can really be any size. This is like fun instead of like a birthday card, just giving somebody like some tiny thing like that you cut and paste together, and you know, something homemade, show them that you care.
I have a friend who makes tiny little drawings like that on the small ones and rewrites the endings of young adult novels.
That's so fun. So I got my next couple pages planned out. I
I
think.
really like these tools. I think I want to use it as an entire spread.
I really wanted to use this piece, but that'll be for a later page. So now I'm going to start pasting again. Another fun project that we did at Bookmans was a short story. Is it
Flash fiction?
Flash fiction, that's the term. Contest, and released a zine. Customers came up with flash fiction stories and entered them, and we made a zine out of that. So that had like a pretty clear theme when we did that. But it can be about, you know, a certain topic that you enjoy, maybe like a fanzine for, you know, a movie or a celebrity or a comic or a cause that you're into. You can kind of have any kind of theme you want.
cut out this picture of Delbach, and I don't know where I want to put it now.
Oh, because you don't want to cover the tools.
I don't want to cover. Maybe that should be my back.
Oh yeah, it could be your back cover.
My back cover,
That could
just
be fun. I also have
dedicated
this.
to Delbach whiskey.
You want to add that
Oh,
to
I do
your
actually, I
zine
think.
in any way? Share that with you. So I'm going to do this bigger piece.
Make sure I add my hot optimism.
Oh yes, hot optimism, important. Mostly the optimism part. I'm glad the weather's kind of cooling down.
Same. So I feel like every single time we say that, it just gets hotter.
But cold optimism, I don't know about that. And then, did I have this here or here? I can't remember. But that's why cutting and pasting is fun. It's just kind of relaxing. And then this piece that I was going to use on my other page, I'm actually going to use it on this page. Let's see. And then these little pieces. Don't want them to get lost in the shuffle. Takes a lot of work to cut out the smaller pieces, but those are always the fun little details too. So I'm almost finished with this page.
Oh, another glue.
Uh-oh. Did I put another glue stick over there for you?
I don't think so.
You can use mine.
Sharing is caring.
Yay. Okay.
I thought I had 2 glue sticks.
I thought you did too. That's the thing.
Oh, there it is.
The cutting and pasting can get messy because you got all your cutouts and your zine and your surface, but this is the page that I did here on the fly, the stuff that I had cut out. And I'm going to kind of fold this over and reinforce the seam because I glued across the middle of my page. So I'm going to do like Kay did with the scissors and kind of just reinforce it again. And then I can go back over it later with some like Mod Podge or something to make sure everything's kind of set. And yeah, that's the start to my zine. I'll probably come back to it later, find some more stuff to cut out, figure out what my front cover is going to be, and figure out these next few pages because I made this one kind of long.
While Stephanie was doing that, I got all of the backgrounds done, so that's my cover.
Oh, nice.
And then we're going to do something like that on the first page. I left the space in the center white just because I'm probably going to do mostly in the middle on this one. So it'd be something I have to fold over. And then I did a full page on that one. I love the full page style. And then kind of like did it more over to one, left some space on the other side. I can like draw some stuff, like do some more pasting. And then this is going to be my back cover.
Love it.
Little ode to a local company.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, so once you have your finished product and you're happy with it, got your front cover, back cover, everything glued in there, you have your zine. This one is made with the folding technique as well, so you can kind of open it up and see it this way too, which is kind of cool. And I think that's about it. Yeah, that's your finished product. If anybody has any questions at all, I'm happy to answer questions.
We got one question. What do you both like to do with your finished zines? You give them away?
I gave one to my sibling. She's a art history professor, so I thought she would enjoy my art.
That's cool. Yeah, I like to share it with my friends. I definitely pass this one around to all my friends. Sometimes I take pictures of them and post them on social and make like funny comments about them and stuff. Another fun thing to do is you can like photocopy them to make multiple copies and distribute them in different places.
We
And
did
that's
that
also
with
a
the
fun
flash
thing to
fiction
do.
zine. We made a bunch of copies just at FedEx and then stapled them all ourselves and gave them away.
Yeah. And then there's like a local zine, Trial and Error, and they do like music reviews and stuff like that. And they distribute their zine at the Midtown Bookmans store.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fun to share just between friends or to a larger audience as well. Any other questions at all?
Actually ask, what is the favorite zine you have ever made?
Mine is definitely overalls.
I liked your underalls.
My underalls one was really great. I did a series that was overalls and underalls, and it's pretty much exactly what you would think it is. It is. I did the overalls actually for my first zine. That was my first zine that I ever made. Was when Stephanie taught me how to do it, and then I did a class at Mocha, and that's where I did underalls.
Yeah.
That one was a little bit harder to find pictures for, but I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I feel like every time I make a zine, I'm like, this is my favorite. No, this is my favorite. So, just depends. I enjoy the process for sure.
Nobody said thank you for doing this, and then just said hot dog.
So that's definitely a vote for me. That's what I'm taking that as.
Bratwurst.
Continue voting. Hot dogs or bratwurst. Oh, I also really liked Spencer's zine that he did where he cut out different parts of the body to make words on his page.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That was really cool.
I think he spelt out eyes using eyes.
Yeah, so you can get really creative with it, for sure. Yeah, well, thanks for tuning in to the live stream today. We appreciate you coming, and thanks to Saka for and the Catalyst Space for having us here and continuing our partnership. Yeah, you can follow us on all the different stores on social media, Bookmans Northwest,
Bookmans Midtown and Bookmans East.
and Bookmans AZ as well on social media. And I think that's about it.
You can tag Bookmans Northwest and continue to tell Stephanie that it's hot dog.
You can at me. Thanks, everyone.